Hi, this is Jen Joliker, and I would like to welcome you back to the Pillars of Leadership program. This is the final module in our Intro to Leadership segment. Congratulations, you are well on your way to becoming a supportive, thriving team leader. I applaud you for your effort and promise you that the time you have invested into this program will be time well spent. This pillar is designed to build upon what you learned in the last module, establishing a team culture. Holding team meetings, whether they are live or via teleconference line or Skype, is essential to keep your team members connected to you and each other. As their mentor and leader, you'll want to bring your team members together to review, share, learn, and nurture the team culture that you've worked to define. Hosting a team meeting doesn't have to be difficult or expensive. They can, in fact, be a fun night for you and everyone involved, and we're about to show you how to do it right. In this module, Effective Team Meetings, you'll gain confidence and find the support you need to create the space for team unity and growth. I wish you could have been there sitting around my kitchen table in my tiny second-floor apartment in Manville, Rhode Island, many years ago. It was a Wednesday night, the night of my very first team meeting. I had invited all 3 of my team members by sending them a pretty invitation in the mail. Back then, texting and Facebook didn't even exist. I called them. Now, wait a minute, it wasn't that long ago. There, that's better. I called them 3 days after I mailed their invitations to make sure that they had received them. I enthusiastically told them that we were going to have some tasty treats prepared by my husband, and we were going to discuss how to book more parties so that we could all make money for the upcoming holiday season. The morning of the meeting, I called them again to remind them and made sure that they knew where I lived by giving them directions. There were also no GPSs back then either. My husband made stuffed mushroom caps and laid out cheese, crackers, and plump and juicy green grapes. I purchased some champagne glasses, because I didn't own any, and 1 bottle of bubbly to toast my team. When they arrived, they each took a seat at my grandmother's beautiful antique table. At each place setting was a wire notebook. In it, on the very first page, I had written something special about that person and how much it meant to me that they had joined my team. I asked them to bring this notebook to all future team meetings. The first order of business was to choose a team name, which, after a short debate, was the Happy Hearts, which is still the name of my Athena's team to this day. Next, we decided what it meant to be a happy heart. And then we toasted our teammate name and our mission, which was to be happy business owners who shared the happiness in our hearts with every person we met. We would be sure that every hostess and party guest would learn everything they needed to know about having the best sex possible, thus increasing the love in their lives and the happiness in their own hearts. Then we brainstormed ways to get more bookings for November and December so that we could all pay cash for the Christmas presents we would need to purchase. I put out a challenge for each of them to sell $2,000 over the next 2 months. If they accomplished this, I would take them to lunch and give them 2 hostess packets and a book of stamps. I also promised to start giving out monthly certificates for the top 3 people on the team at every meeting. And they laughed at me because there were only 3 people on the team. Not for long, I assured them. We finished by eating Curtis's scrumptious yet simple spread while sharing party and personal stories. We then hugged, said our farewells, and off they went into the night. I shut the door, took a deep breath, and did a few little bunny hops for my victory dance, and I felt totally accomplished. I share my story with you because I want you to know this. At one time, I was living in a tiny second-floor apartment without the benefit of the internet, training resources, GPSs, email, or social networking. I didn't need those things. The only thing I needed was this, a desire to bring people together to share common goals. Once they were together, it was my pleasure to inspire them and show appreciation for them. When it comes to leadership, you don't have to know everything. You just have to start somewhere. Whether you are a brand new goddess or Adonis, or you have been with Athenas for a decade, hosting a team meeting should be as much fun for you as it is for the entire team. So let's erect another pillar in your leadership empire, one that brings people together so you can inspire and appreciate them. Bringing people together, when, where, how, and what. You may be wondering, when should I hold these team meetings? How often should I hold meetings? Well, the answer depends on you and your team. Athena's leadership requirements state that you must conduct at least one team meeting per trimester. You can choose to do more, of course, and how many depends on you and your team. What is their level of interest with regard to team meetings? The only way to know, my friends, is to ask. You could send a blast email to your team and ask them how many meetings they would like to see per year. How many live, how many via telecall or video chat. Sometimes when your team is just getting started, coaching calls are effective in addressing their individual needs. Yet it's still important to provide them with the time and space to get to know you and each other. This is the place where you establish and build your team culture, even if it's over the phone on a telecall or on a Google Hangout. So check in with your team, and then, taking into consideration your schedule, find what works for most of you. And don't worry, you can adjust as your team grows. As a rule of thumb, monthly or bi-monthly meetings are best. Pick a date and time that works best for most. We suggest that you make it as easy as possible for your team members to remember, like the meetings will be on the first Wednesday of every month or the last Tuesday of every other month. Remember that you won't be able to please and accommodate everyone. So let's say you chose the first Wednesday of every month and this new team member has a bowling league that night and won't be able to attend. That's okay. Send her the agenda, send her the meeting minutes via email. Then it's up to her to read them and contact you with any questions. Once you decide when and how your meetings will be held, be sure to communicate the meeting dates and the times with everyone on the team. Encourage them to put these dates in their date books and to be diligent to participate as often as possible. Life is busy, so it's helpful to send out reminders as the meeting dates approach, so they'll be sure to show up, call in, or log in. A phone call, though, is the most meaningful because they'll be hearing your voice, receiving a personal invitation from you, and they'll hear your enthusiasm. Where? While getting together in person is the easiest way to build camaraderie and solidarity, doing so requires some team members to obtain childcare, while all of them will have to plan to take time away from home and drive to the meeting location and then return home again. Luckily, technology is constantly providing us with easy and effective alternatives such as conference calls, GoToMeetings, Google Hangouts, and Skype. No one needs to leave home at all, actually. There are many ways to get everyone connected, so you may start with one style of meeting, for example in person, and then adapt as your team grows by holding meetings by phone if you have to accommodate out-of-state team members. Depending on the people you've recruited, you'll need to decide what works best to ensure the most participation. Choosing a telecall or Google Hangout enables you to conduct your meetings from just about anywhere. When using technology for your meeting, keep distractions at a minimum. Your children crying and dogs barking in the background don't make for productive meetings. So be sure wherever your anywhere is, it's quiet and free from distractions. Should you choose to conduct your meetings live, you have so many choices to consider. The most logical and cost-effective option is, of course, your home. Once again, you'll have to clear your home of children, ornery spouses, and aggressive pets. You can easily gather your team members around your kitchen table or in your finished basement if you are a new leader with a smaller team. I lived in a tiny apartment, and I managed to have my team there for the first 5 team meetings, and my team members didn't seem to mind. If home is not an option, you could meet in a private function room of a restaurant or a local coffee shop, or even contact your local library to see if they have a free function room available. That's where these meetings in Maine and this one in New York took place. Another idea is to have your meetings before and after an Athena's BBW. Gather your team together at a restaurant close by Athena's if you are a New England goddess or Adonai, and have an hour-long meeting prior to or after a BBW so you can tie in the theme or message of the evening. If you are a goddess or Adonai with a team that lives far away from Athena's home office, and this is not an option, you can invite your team members to your home for the evening and then watch the live stream of the workshop. This also works well on a business building blitz night. Gather your team together for an hour. Meet prior or after the blitz call on the first Tuesday of every month, and then tie in the blitz so everyone on your team is booking parties that night. Set a team party booking goal. Everyone's on the phone. You'll be able to celebrate every call together as a team and pump each other up. High five anyone who gets a booking. You have lots of options. As your team and lineage grows, you will have to look for larger space, and we'll cover that in a future module in the Advanced Leadership Program. How? Your next question probably is, how will I get them to come to my team meeting? It's a very simple process and very similar to getting people to attend home parties. You must invite effectively. I strongly suggest sending a physical invite to their homes, something fun and simple that will pique their interest. You can create an invitation on your home computer or even buy cute little invitations in the stationery section of your local department store. Follow up with a personal phone call a few days later to make sure they received it. Enthusiastically invite them. Highlight the 3 main reasons that they should attend. Once these steps are done, then you create the Facebook event. I can't stress enough how important it is that you don't solely rely on Facebook. People are bombarded with events on Facebook daily, and we've found that when it comes to Facebook events, a yes is really a maybe, and a maybe is really a no. Focus on building a more personal rapport with your team members when it comes to the meetings, and your chances of attendance will be so much higher. One surefire way to get commitments from people is to delegate responsibilities or topics to be covered. People are less likely to miss a meeting at which they'll be presenting or where they've agreed to bring a dish to share. Involve your team members. It helps them improve their public speaking skills. It allows them to feel that they're making a meaningful contribution, and it provides a way for them to share their strengths and talents. Do you have someone on your team who is technologically savvy? Ask them to present for a few minutes on how to use social media to market their businesses. Is there a team member who recently had a $1,000 party? Have them share a list of the top 5 items they sold or the top 5 things that made the party a success. Is there someone who is selling a large amount of a particular high-end product? Have them demo it for everyone. The point is, we all have something we can share. Presentations can be 5 to 15 minutes long and should include bullet points that you can include in your meeting minutes for anyone who wasn't able to participate. Another idea is to give points or raffle tickets for a door prize to those who participate. It helps to reward actions that you want repeated. Remember to make those reminder calls the day before or the day of. Just like when the doctor's office or dentist office provides that courtesy call reminder to you, you should do it too. Everyone on your team will appreciate a reminder call. Okay, now let's talk about protecting your heart. Understand that you may have meetings that no one attends, and that does not mean that you are a failure. People are busy, and sometimes things just don't go as planned. Don't take it personally. Just send out your meeting minutes so that they'll know when the next one is, and they'll know what they missed. Much like your party career, it is imperative that even if only one person attends a team meeting, that you give that person the best meeting possible. Stay positive. Do not act disappointed or frustrated in front of them. The people that do attend are there because they want to be. Give them what they came for, the best experience possible. What? The final piece you'll need to know is what. What will my meeting agenda look like? What should I cover and discuss during my team meetings? The task before you, my friends, is to make your team meeting fun, engaging, and valuable. When your team members walk out that door or the Google chat ends, you want them to feel energized and excited to work their businesses. In order to keep their businesses on track, there are core messages that should be repeated over and over at your team meetings. And those messages are book, sell, recruit. This theme should always be present at the heart of every team meeting. The best team meetings include rich content, helpful resources, guest speakers, and recognition from you. Keep your meeting time at approximately 60 to 90 minutes in length. Be sure that you start and end on time. In doing so, you'll show your team members that you respect their time and appreciate their participation. So let's look at a sample agenda. As you can see on this one on the screen, we have time frames. We have it all broken down by topics. So, handing out an agenda to your team at the start of your meeting is a great idea. And it's not that hard to create one. So let's take this agenda and break it down piece by piece, and we'll start with introductions. Create a positive environment from the very beginning. Start off every meeting with a warm welcome followed by introductions. Even if a team member isn't speaking about a particular topic, everyone should be given the opportunity to share something positive as well as hear the inspiring positives of their teammates. Have each team member stand, introduce themselves, where they're from, and share their hooray for me. A hooray for me should pertain to the business. You'll hear things like, I had my first $1,000 party, hooray! Or I just joined last month and finished training, hooray! This gives everyone the opportunity to speak, share, and be clapped for, and clap for others over their accomplishments. Next, you can give a quick overview of the agenda so everyone knows what's coming, and then dive right in. Educational topics. Everyone who attends your meeting should leave with new knowledge that will benefit their business. If you're not sure what topics to cover, just ask. Your team members will be sure to tell you and share with you what they want to learn more about and what they're struggling with. You can usually cover 1 to 2 different educational topics at a team meeting. You can choose to cover a topic yourself or ask a team member in advance to talk about something that is working for them or is bringing them exceptional results. You can also invite a guest speaker. Ask your team members who they admire within Athena's and invite that person to speak. It is definitely a huge compliment to contact someone within the company because your team members want to learn from them. Or, if you or a team member knows a professional who does something that would benefit the business, have them come and do a mini presentation. Professional organizers, tax professionals, motivational speakers, image consultants, all these professionals can provide insight and tips for your team. And it's always a classy move to introduce each guest speaker, whether they're on your team or not. Say how long they've been a goddess or Adonis, where they're from, and something special about them. Everyone likes to hear good things about themselves. And you might not always have a guest speaker at every meeting, but that will make it more special when you do. So why stories? Always important to have why stories at your meeting. It's a great idea to have a few team members share their why stories. These are the stories that they share with their party guests and hostesses. Your team meeting is a great place to develop or practice a why story as well as obtain feedback about it. Why stories are important and effective for they have a powerful impact on the potential team members that will attend your team meetings who are interested in the Athena's business opportunity. A why story may speak directly to them and be the reason that the person finally says yes to joining Athena's. Next, we have business buildings based on BBWs and teletrainings. In this example agenda, I had used writing your introduction, follow-up to Fripp's BBW. You and your team members should be tuning in to the BBWs and teletrainings to learn from our world-class presenters and successful goddesses and Adonai. Each provide tips and techniques to help you become a better business owner. However, let's be truthful. Sometimes it's challenging to set aside the time to work on the techniques after the workshop ends or the call is over. Use your meetings as a place to work on suggested action steps presented by these professionals. So Patricia Fripp suggested that every goddess in Adonai should be properly introduced by a hostess or party guest at the start of every presentation. In this example, it would be very productive for you and your team members to use some of your valuable meeting time to work on your introductions and to practice them on each other. As a team leader, listen closely to speakers for agenda-filling, productive business-building activities that you can work on with your team. Upcoming events. While you have your team together, it's a good idea to mention important upcoming events, like a national sales meeting, a Better Business Workshop, or even your next team meeting. This is the time that you, the leader, impart to the team why it's important that they attend or tune in. If your team is coming from a distance to a live meeting, you can encourage carpooling, or, it's really important that you encourage carpooling. I'm going to tell you why. Because many lifelong friendships have been born on the way to an Athena's event. Be sure to explain the benefits of the upcoming event to your team and let them know that you will be there too. You can also talk about team spirit. If it's an upcoming sales meeting, how will your team be dressed? Will they be wearing feather boas, matching hats or t-shirts? How are they showing team spirit and pride? You can also coordinate where the teams will have lunch together or who will share hotel rooms. Keep your team connected to you and to each other. It's very important that you have fun at your meetings. Sprinkle in a little fun and your team members won't ever want to miss one of your meetings. This segment of your meeting can be where you or a team member introduces a new party game that can be played at parties. Make sure to play it with the team so that everyone understands it and it creates a memorable experience. You could also have a sex toy swap. This is where everyone brings a demo item that is in good condition that they no longer want to show to trade with someone else. It's an inexpensive way to switch up one's demo. Open floor. This is an important part of your meeting because it gives everyone the opportunity to ask questions. Oftentimes, the topics that come up during open floor will lead to more discussion and even content for an upcoming meeting. Keep in mind that you want to stay focused and on task during open floor. It's so easy for a group of goddesses in Adonai to start sharing personal stories, and that's not what the purpose of this team meeting is. Preface your open floor with ground rules. Let them know that this is a positive environment, and if there is something that is bothering them or a problem that needs to be addressed, you'd be happy to speak with them in private. Let the group know that there is a 15-minute time limit for open floor, so please keep their questions short and specific. As the leader and MC of the meeting, work closely with your agenda. Be mindful of the time. You may want to elect someone to be the timekeeper to keep your meeting on track. And finally, recognition and team challenges. End your meeting on a high note by celebrating the successes of your team members. Recognize things like top sales, first $1,000 parties, first recruits, training completions, and other milestones like hitting steps to success. Your team members want to succeed, and recognition is important. While they might not be top sales for the entire company, they're top sales for your team. Celebrate with them. Honor them. This can be as easy as presenting them with a certificate that you printed on your home computer or a small gift, and then having everyone clap and cheer for them. Be mindful of these prizes that you give away, though. No need to go overboard. Cost-effective prizes include free products. Use your 2K Paves the Way bonus of $50 one month to collect prizes for your team. A pack of invitations, a sheet of stickers from thebooster.com, these are great gifts. Tea bags for someone who's strong, who was once in hot water. A roll of Smarties for someone who just finished training, who is now really smart. A packet of lemonade for someone who had turned a bad situation around. Life gave them lemons, and now you can have them make some lemonade. A payday chocolate bar for doing their first party and making their first payday. A packet of seeds for recruiting their first person. And how about lunch with you? Look at these women all sitting around smoking and enjoying themselves. These are thoughtful ways to express your appreciation to your team members. They will be touched. And don't forget the power of a handwritten note. A note that says, "Great job, I'm proud of you." This means the world to people. So before the meeting is adjourned and everyone heads home, let them know your vision for the team. Tell them where you hope that the team will be in 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. Get them enrolled in your vision. Present a challenge like do 2 more parties next month than you did this month, or even offer a team pizza party if everyone on the team reaches 2K paves the way. Challenge them to book 5 parties in the next 48 hours for a prize. Team goals and challenges should help your team members remain focused, set goals, get them out of their comfort zones, all while encouraging friendly competition. Offer small prizes when they reach the goals and meet your challenges. It makes a difference. Now let's talk about a happy ending. Everyone loves a happy ending. Be sure to close your meetings with a special thanks to your guest speakers. It's always a nice touch to present them with a card in front of the group, followed by a heartfelt thanks to everyone who came. Once the meeting is over, there's a few things that remain, and that is, do a happy dance. You did it. You brought people together for a common goal of learning and inspiration. Go for a manicure. Get a massage to reward yourself. Team leader, you deserve it. 2, it's important to email meeting minutes to the group and to the home office as well, so you can earn your Golden Circle of Leadership points and have the meeting minutes go towards your leadership requirements. You can find a template for meeting minutes under the Pillars of Leadership tab in the resource section of your back office. Meeting minutes are valuable for several reasons. First, they provide information to team members who weren't able to attend the meeting. Be sure to email them to the team with a brief thank you for attending paragraph or a we missed you paragraph within 1 week of the meeting date. Second, they are a historical record of what your team has covered. You'll be able to look back on who was there, what was covered, and who was recognized. Third, meeting minutes earn you Golden Circle of Leadership points, and you want to earn these. They go towards free dinner, swag bags, limo rides, and even a free hotel room during the week of Golden Circle. Be sure to submit meeting minutes within 30 days of the meeting date during the Golden Circle contest period to earn your points. Every team leader must submit meeting minutes once per trimester in order to remain a leader within Athena's. You know, it's our belief that the 3 team meetings a year is not a lot to ask of you. It's really just the bare minimum you should be doing to provide support to your team. Taking meeting minutes is easy. I don't want you to think it's hard. You have your agenda as your outline, and your minutes won't take long to prepare. Just be sure to include your name and goddess number, the date of the meeting, the list of people who attended, and an overview of what was covered. You can choose to record meeting minutes throughout your meeting yourself, or you can delegate this task to a team member. In addition to receiving a Golden Circle point for submitting your meeting minutes, team leaders within your lineage who present on 1 or more topics at your meeting can also submit their own version of meeting minutes, so they will get a point also. So how does this work? You have a recruit who has team members who comes to your meeting. They present, they send in their own meeting minutes, and they get a Golden Circle point too. Their meeting minutes would include the info about their team members who attended or who were invited, plus their updates and any topics that they covered. Each leader must submit their own meeting minutes, and they cannot be exactly the same. While your own personal team meetings are essential for team camaraderie and culture, regional meetings are another fantastic way to experience success. You can work with other team leaders in your area to create regional meeting events. These meetings can be a little longer, and if there are enough people attending, it may be appropriate to rent a conference room at a local hotel or a VFW hall. Restaurants can also offer space for meetings, often at no additional charge, as you'll be bringing people into their place of business. Each team leader can take on a different responsibility, present educational topics, and introduce a fun party game. Any costs of hosting these meetings can be split between the leaders, so be sure to keep receipts for tax time. Team meetings and opportunity events. Regardless of where or when or how you host your meetings, keep in mind that every team meeting is the perfect place for potential new team members to learn more about the Athena's opportunity. Just think, At your meeting, they will experience firsthand all the support that they'll have from their fellow team members. They'll learn about topics that will help them grow their business if they join, and they might even make personal connections that will encourage them to go home and hit join now on the Athena's website. Encourage all of your team members to invite recruit leads to attend and participate in your upcoming meetings. As a leader, you can offer special incentives for people to join at your meetings, just like we do at the national sales meetings. And we'll cover more extensive topics and details about hosting larger meetings and events in the upcoming Advanced Leadership modules. In the resource section of the Pillars of Leadership area, you will find a list of meeting topics and themes that will get your wheels turning and get you headed in the right direction. My final thought for team meetings is this: who you are at your team meetings matters. If you appear frazzled and stressed about holding your team meetings, that is the feeling that your team members will associate with holding their own team meetings. With proper planning and good energy, your team meetings can be invigorating and joyful for you. So ask yourself right now, who do I want to be when I open the door and welcome my team members into our meeting space? What kind of leader do I want them to see? It has been my pleasure to take you through the first 8 modules of Pillars of Leadership. This concludes the Introduction to Leadership course. Once you have qualified your 5th team member, you will take the Advanced Leadership portion of the Pillars of Leadership program. Before we conclude and move on to the end, I wanted to once again recognize you for your participation in our leadership program. It shows that you have the desire to make a difference in the lives of others and lead the way towards success, their success and your own. Remember that the people who join this business because of you need you. I challenge you to become the leader that they want to follow.